Hey folks, Dr. Gerstmar from Aspire Natural Health. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you happen to be watching to this or listening to it. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Today I wanted to talk about another insight that was sparked from the game of Sudoku. Now, as you know, I'm a fan of Sudoku, and this morning I was sitting down playing a game. I like to do it. It stimulates my brain, and it's a fun thing to do that isn't scrolling through news or more social media in a way that is going to impact my quality of life, my mental and emotional well-being. So I was playing a game this morning, looking at the grid, trying to figure out where to go, what the next piece was, how I could unlock a part of the puzzle and figure it out to solve it, right? And we've talked before about sometimes the need to get away from something, to set it aside, let our brain percolate on it, work through it. And often we see things that we don't see before. Well, in this case, I was looking at it, working through, trying to calculate and figure out what my next move might be, what I needed to do to unlock this puzzle. And after noodling on it and working through it and working on it, I came to the conclusion, I had no idea. This is why sometimes it's important to guess. Sometimes it's important to guess. In this case, I took a guess, and you know what? I was wrong. But by being wrong, that helped me move forward in figuring out what the right answer was, and pretty quickly, that wrong guess turned into a right guess, which turned into the missing pieces that I needed to unlock and solve the puzzle. Right? So what does this have to do with our health and our well-being? What does this have to do with digestive issues and autoimmunity? The reality is sometimes we do need to guess. Now, we're not talking about those serious, life-threatening times when we have to know the answer to what's going on. We have to be right. Well, the reality is those of us who are dealing with digestive issues and autoimmunity, the vast majority of time, we're not in that situation. We're trying to figure out what are the root causes of what's going on here, and what do I need to do to deal with those root causes, improve my health, improve my digestive issues or autoimmunity, feel better, and go from sick to healthy to thriving. Now, a lot of times when we sit down with a person, we have a discussion with them, we're listening to what's going on and figuring out, talking about what they've done and what tests they've had done before, what treatments they've tried, what things have worked for them and haven't worked for them. When we work through those issues, often it's pretty clear some of the major steps that a person is going to need to take in order to feel better. And of course, our framework of the Sick to Thriving program and the Aspire method often shows us where we need to go to get this person results. But the reality is sometimes we sit down and we work through things and think there's some strong suspicions about what's going on, but we're just not quite sure. Or we have a good idea what's going on, but we're just not quite sure what the correct next step is. What are the things that are going to improve this and to help people feel better? Again, sometimes it's clear and sometimes it's not. So sometimes with the right knowledge, the right space, sometimes we have to guess. No one has all of the answers all of the time. Each of us is a little bit different. The things that often work for people don't necessarily always work for you. Or in the same way, the dose might need to be tweaked, or the way someone is taking it might need to change a little bit because you are a unique person. And a cookie cutter approach is unlikely to give you the results that you're looking for. So sometimes we need to guess. The reality of guessing, sometimes we get it right. We're like, yes, nailed that, right? People are feeling better, things improve, it's all good. And sometimes we don't get it right. It doesn't work, right? Either no improvement, nothing changes, they do the thing, and they don't see any positive benefit from it, or sometimes, frankly, things get worse. We think, this could be what's going on, so let's try something to tell us, is this the thing that's going on? You know, if you have SIBO, for example, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, an overgrowth of bacteria in your small intestine, we can try tweaking the diet, or we can try some herbal medicines that often make a really big difference in SIBO. And if you do those things and you notice, oh my gosh, things have really improved for me, then it's very, very likely that you were dealing with SIBO. Sometimes, though, nothing happens. And even then, that still can be useful for a person. So a guess done correctly, gives us valuable information that we can feed back into our understanding of what's going on for someone. Another quick example, if we think that a food or foods might be contributing to what's going on for a person, and we do an elimination diet, one of three things is going to happen, right? We either notice improvements and changes, great, says we're on the right track, something about what you were eating that we've changed was causing a problem, and now things are better. No change. Well, okay, look, it's not great. Obviously, we want to see things improve, but at the same time, we can say, okay, we were suspicious that dairy was a problem for you. Now you've taken dairy out of your diet and absolutely nothing changed. Okay, well, at least now we understand that dairy is not contributing to what's going on for you. Or we do a change, we think bacteria might be a problem, we take some herbs, and we notice that things are worse. So things can get better, nothing can change, or things can get worse. Now that's not great, obviously, none of us want to feel worse, but at the same time we can feed that back in and say, when we did this, things got worse, which means there's another issue or things need to be tweaked, adjusted, or changed for a person. So sometimes we need to guess. Now, blindly guessing, just, I don't know, let's try this or let's try that, is not the way to go. But informed guessing, where we understand what's going on, at least the big picture pieces, and we use our expertise to guide someone in a specific direction, but we may not know exactly what's necessary. So we take some informed guesses and we gather that feedback. The person feels better, wonderful. That didn't change. Okay, at least we understand more, or unfortunately, things got worse for a person, and again, we understand more. We take that informed guess, we feed that back in, and we get closer and closer to knowing what's necessary for a person to get better. So, just like this game of Sudoku, sometimes you stare at it and you go, gosh, I just don't know what the right step is. I'm not blindly pulling it out of the air, but I understand based on the puzzle kind of what are the pieces that could go in there, and I have to make a guess. Now, we're all crossing our fingers and hoping that guess was right from the beginning. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. But just like in the game of Sudoku, where a wrong guess can give us more information that can lead to successfully solving the puzzle, the same thing applies for health and well-being. People dealing with digestive issues and autoimmunity, that guess can give us information which can help us better understand what is going on for a person. All right, folks, that is it for me today. The power of informed guessing. All right, folks, your next step, if you have not, is to pick up my best-selling book, The Clear Path to Health. Now, this book takes all of the information, the hard work, the education, the study, the time with patients and clients over more than a decade now, and it distills it down to a nice, small, easy-to-read volume that talks about the principles behind health and the principles behind disease. Now, these are not these short-term tactics like take 2 of these and call me in the morning, but it's really understanding big picture, what is necessary for a person to be healthy and what is necessary or what causes a person to become sick. By understanding this, we can clear the confusion that we often face. You know, the internet is great, but it's like drinking from a fire hose. There's just so much information. Now, how do we know what's reasonable and what's not reasonable, what we need to be doing, what we don't need to be doing? By understanding the higher level principles behind health and disease, it can clear the confusion and can help us understand if I'm looking at something, is this something I really need to look at? Is it something I need to invest my time, money, and energy in doing? Or is it something I can go, you know what? No, I think I'll pass on that one. It's not right for me. It all starts by reading The Clear Path to Health. You can get it by simply going to aspirenaturalhealth.com/book. That's aspirenaturalhealth.com/book. Aspire is an ASPIRE, naturalhealth.com/book, and get it today. All right, folks, that is it for me today. Until next time, take care.